Vasectomy is not new to the world, neither is it new to the country. It's been happening for a long time. But
10 years, 20?
It's been long. Since the medical profession has been practicing in Kenya, vasectomy has been going on. But what's been happening of late is that there's more access to information. So there's more access to information that this method of family planning is available. And more importantly, it's this method of permanent family planning is available. Because this is not a method that will be used by someone who's still planning to get more children. So because it's a terminal family planning, you find it has its niche group of people. It's not just anyone who wants to have sex. So that niche, that group of people, you see, you've named nameless, they've reached a certain age, certain status in life, certain number of children, and usually those are the people who will look for a vasectomy. And it's something that's been there. Our fathers found it, our grandfathers found it, but probably due to our culture and our perceptions, it has always, family planning has always been left to the women. But now we have more and more men taking up the responsibility and saying, look, I'll have this vasectomy. If you look at the Kenya demographic health surveys from the previous years, they would report, 5 vasectomies countrywide, 10 vasectomies countrywide. After COVID, we actually noticed an upsurge in numbers of vasectomy. I don't have a study that shows why those numbers went suddenly after COVID, but I can probably put it down to during the COVID time we got actually a lot of pregnancies coming after that. And many people probably thought, okay, this is the end of the pregnancies I want in this homestead. Let me come for vasectomy. But at the same time, the COVID time was one of the times we had so much information at our hands. Never before had we had so much time and information in our hands like that time. And because this was a straightforward procedure, takes 15 minutes in, out, and it's permanent, you find more men took it up. Now, why more men took it up would be hard because every man has their own decision to make. Is it that I don't want my partner doing this again? Is it that I don't want other children? Is it that I can't afford other children? Those are some of the more common issues that come up. So most people are in their late 30s and early 40s, and that's where we see most people coming in for the procedure, for the vasectomy. It seems like people in their 50s and 60s, we get numbers there, but not as many as those in their 40s. 20s and 30s, early 30s, you'll rarely get anyone coming in from the procedure. I think the youngest person I've had is early 30s. And, you know, as long as you come and you have said, look, I have enough children, your partner is in agreement with you, you have informed all the information about it, we carry out the procedure and, you know, you move on with life. But most are in their 40s, late 30s. I had a 20-year-old who had a 40-year-old girlfriend and she had said she doesn't want children, and therefore he decided because she does not want children, he also does not want children. And see, that is someone who definitely does not qualify for vasectomy because they have not yet reached the age of even making that decision based on that. But more commonly we get the reason where your partner is having the 5th, 6th, 7th children and is not consulting you, and so as a man you decide, I'm putting a stop to this. I can't keep up with this. So that is quite common really. Immediately after the procedure, we recommend that you abstain from sex and abstain from heavy manual work. So no heavy lifting, so at least 7 to 14 days. And then everyone is different. Some people within 7 days, you'll find they're up and about and they're okay. Some people 14 days, proper healing. But for most people within 14 days, you should have healed enough now to go back to sex and go back to your heavy lifting. Now the challenge with vasectomy is that it takes 3 months for it to be complete. So what I mean by that is, you will continue ejaculating. Your semen will still have sperm for 3 months after a vasectomy. And this is something we always advise our patients on. So there was a case, there are cases you hear where someone went had a vasectomy and, you know, they come back and the partner is pregnant and there's always noise here and there. most of the time is because that they had sex during that 3-month period. 3 months after the vasectomy, we recommend that you come back for a sperm test so to make sure the semen has no more sperm. As much as there's what we call informed consent. Where informed consent is, I'll inform you this procedure goes like this, it is permanent, we are not going to reverse it, and once we do it, these are the side effects, and these are the procedure goes, these are the benefits. So once we've covered all that, you're supposed to make a decision as an adult that indeed, once you're over 18, you can decide, yes, I want the vasectomy or not. But over and above that, there are patients who will definitely turn away because we feel they may not qualify for a permanent method. The same way an 18-year-old girl who's never been pregnant can make a decision to get her tubes tied permanently. Usually you'll find most doctors will decline to offer that service. So it goes the same way where if you find it's a young man, has never had children, and maybe the decision is made based on emotions or their current relationships, most doctors will decline to offer that service because it does not confer any benefit to this patient. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're getting to a stage where we can make a decision that these are enough children, or I'm in a position where I do not want more children, and I want to take control of my family planning options. I would definitely encourage more and more men to take it up. I mean, it's a safe procedure, it's virtually painless, and now we perform what we call the non-scalpel vasectomy, which means we don't have to make a big cut like it used to be made before. It's about 2 millimeters cut under local anesthesia. We'll be talking while we are going through the procedure. You're done in 15 minutes and you walk out and you go about your business almost as if nothing happened.
Will I ever be able to erect? Because I know that's one of the scare.
Yes, now you're asking the good question. After vasectomy, you should continue with your erections as usual. Vasectomy does not affect your libido. It does not affect your ejaculation. It does not affect the strength or weakness of your erection. Everything continues as was before. So vasectomy is considered permanent family planning, which means it is not reversible. However, there's surgery that can be carried out to try and reverse it. To try and reverse it. The chances of success are usually quite low after that.
What was it?
Very low, as it's very, very low. Less than 10% success rates. So it's a decision. If you're making the decision to undergo vasectomy, you're making this decision knowing that you're not going to attempt a reversal. The vasectomy costs about 20,000 shillings in most centers. You'll find between 20 and 40,000 in most average centers. It should not go beyond that in an average setup, unless you go to a very high-end hospital. Yes.
And then if I'm to make this attempt to try and just get back to that.
Oh, now the reversal becomes very expensive because the doctors who can do that are fewer and fewer. Because now this is surgery, this is now microsurgery. So now that the cost of that could go even to 200,000, 300,000.